Our names are Ethan Sausa,
Marlee Brooks,
and Anna Darcy.
We are amateur filmmakers. This semester, we were tasked with making a short documentary film. When we first started, we had little to no idea where to begin. But this all changed when Anna told us the story of Cal Harris.
A man who had spent the last 16 years in and out of court and prison is now exonerated of the crimes he was accused of. Cal and his family have stayed where this all began, Owego, New York.
We set out to find more about who Cal Harris is. We wanted to investigate the full story on Cal Harris and why his family stayed in Owego. We drew up a timeline, and this is what we found.
Michelle and Cal met in the 1980s and married in 1990, where they moved to a town just outside of Owego, New York. Throughout the 1990s, they had 4 kids together, but their marriage started to unravel in 1999 due to a series of affairs. In 2001, the two started divorce proceedings and separated as Michelle began to date other men. Michelle went missing on September 11, 2001, and the next morning her divorce attorney alerted the police after hearing she was missing. A full-scale investigation by the police failed to yield any indication of where Michelle was. Regardless, 4 years later, Cal Harris was indicted on 1 count of second-degree murder. The first indictment was thrown out but reissued after a new judge was appointed to the case. In May 2007, Cal Harris went on trial and was found guilty, but before he was sentenced, a new witness testimony came out, causing the verdict to be overturned. A retrial was set for July 2009, and Cal Harris was found guilty again. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Over the next 4 years, Cal Harris was denied numerous appeals until 2012, when his conviction was overturned and he faced his 3rd trial in 2015. The 3rd trial was declared a mistrial. In 2016, Cal Harris went on trial for a 4th time and was finally found not guilty.
Now that we knew what we were facing, we took what we assumed was the next logical step.
Yeah.
Interview our subject.
He's not answering. Hey Cal, it's Anna. I was just checking to make sure that we are all set again for tomorrow. Okay, great.
Anna got us in
Thank you.
contact with Cal. We set up a time, and we made the drive down to Owego. None of us had ever made a documentary piece before, and we didn't really know what to expect. In fact, there was a moment when we were heading to Cal's house that we were stopped and waited for our nerves to settle on the side of a wooded country road.
So, and we found a knife in the ground.
We did find a knife.
We found a random
we
knife
find
in
a
the
random
ground.
Knife in the ground.
And then we did have those 2 men staring at us they were about to come up to us, and then we dipped out of there and a car followed us. So now we're just chilling in the woods alone. So.
Eventually, we did make it to Cal's house. We pulled into his driveway and had no idea how to proceed. Do we just knock? That seemed ridiculous. This man may have murdered his wife, and we are about to mosey on up to his front door. As we walked, our hearts began to race. We waited. The door opened. And there was Cal Harris. He greeted us with a smile, showed us his 2 dogs. Inside was an assortment of family photos and puzzles. We made small talk and joked around as he showed us his house. And Cal and his family told us their story.
Hearing that decision from the jury, you're sitting there and you're waiting and the jury comes out and you can't breathe and they stand there and what's your decision? Guilty. And it's like pain going right through my heart.
When I was in 5th grade, it was the end of the year and I got called down to the principal's office and my Uncle John was there and he told us that my dad had got convicted and was going to be in jail. So I do remember that very well.
It was horrible. Steel, concrete, cinder block, stone, cold, loud, noisy. I really struggled with the idea that I was going to spend the rest of my life in that environment. I really struggled. If it wasn't for my kids, I don't know what I would have done. I kept fighting the whole time for my kids.
We would see him on the weekends, at least when I was in middle school.
You go and you see him and he's in the orange jumpsuit and he's so upset and so tore down.
Yeah, we could talk. He called probably once a week. You could talk to him once a week, and then every other weekend you could go visit. Other than that, that was pretty much it. It was tough.
I mean, it was nice to see him, to be able to have that option to see him, and I know how much it meant to him because he would cry every time we left, and that was really hard.
On Thanksgiving and Christmas, you'd have frozen pizza,
so that wasn't fun. We asked Cal, what was it like hearing the not guilty verdict?
The tension, the pressure, the anxiety was still there. You're waiting, and then all of a sudden they come out, and you're waiting for that decision. And I actually closed my eyes on that one. I couldn't look, and when the verdict was read, I didn't really hear it.
When the judge was reading the verdict, I'm pretty sure like everyone on our side was like crying, because either way, it was either really sad or it was really happy, so everyone was like holding in tears and stuff.
I had my head down and I just had my eyes closed. I could hear my kids crying behind me.
I don't know how to feel at that moment because it's just like a shock.
One of the attorneys, she put her hand on my arm and she said, "Congratulations." And that's when I knew it was a not guilty.
Get to have him home, and we get to be together on Thanksgiving and Christmas and what have you.
I came home and taking care of the kids and trying to move on with our life.
I probably wouldn't have been able to go as far away to school without him home.
It's nice because you are finally like your own person and you don't have like all of that attached to you.
I haven't told anybody at school about it. I'm like a bunch of states away, so it's all good. Like nobody really knows.
You can just I'm just Kayla at college. I'm not Kayla Harris, Cal Harris's daughter.
We've got our family back now, which is the most important thing. We can now make plans to move forward.
And like it made us stronger, obviously, as a family and closer as a family.
It's going to take some time to get back, get my life back. And that's what I'm shooting for. That's what it boils down to, get my life back.
Had like one kid said something to Taylor.
I wouldn't say everybody's been supportive.
Well, not everybody.
I fought with people a lot, like on Facebook. I just get so mad. You see a picture and it might be sunny out and my dad like has a face like this. Oh, he just looks like a killer.
Hearing Cal's recount of the trials made us wonder why he and his family stayed in such a small town. Why didn't they choose to leave?
As a parent going through something like this, you see how resilient your kids can be. The school district was fantastic for them. I can't say enough about the Owego-Appalachian School District. I can't give enough praise to those people for what they did. My kids wouldn't be doing as well today if it wasn't for those people.
Like Coach Westervelt, he really helped us.
You definitely make a lot of friends through sports. Like he taught us lacrosse, so that was like a lot of fun to play, just to like think about him when he wasn't around.
It was good too because we had each other there too. It was easy, she could drive, I would ride with her, we were doing things together.
I started the lacrosse program here in this community back in the late 1990s. I had built a strong relationship and rapport with the boys club, with the school district, and with all the kids. I coached hundreds of kids over the last 20-some years. When I got indicted, I still kept coaching. And I'd get out of the car and I'd have all the kids with me and the parents would be there and, they trusted me. We seriously thought about moving out of town during this whole thing when it was going on, but we decided to stay. It wound up being the best decision we made because the people that were there for us were just fantastic. I do enjoy this community. There's a lot of good people in this community and a lot of good friends that have supported us all the way through. So it's important that it's important to us to be here.
After getting to sit down with Cal and hear his side of the story, we began to see more of the man behind the headlines.
While we understand that many may not be ready to change their perception of the Harris family, in the time that we spent getting to understand them, we saw a normal family coping with a complicated situation, trying to move on.
The family may never have the answers that they are looking for. Justice may never be served for Michelle Harris. But a family,
a community,
has adapted and is beginning to find peace.